Hi everyone. I hope that you're well and that you're finding that you're developing the skills you need to meet the new challenges that come your way as you continue through this season of shelter in place. Linda and I are finding that we seem to be leaving the house less and less each day, and the main reason to go out is to enjoy the beauty of nature and get some exercise. This is a beautiful spring day. And I particularly love walking around the neighborhood where I live and seeing all the beautiful spring flowers and blossom trees, and particularly love walking through a sort of wooded glade close to our house where there's a creek, and the whole ground is carpeted with flowers that I believe are called spring snowflakes. They're little white bells. They're just so beautiful, and it's wonderful to walk through them as I go for my morning walk. Our network connection seems to be working really well. I'm hearing all sorts of stories of people getting phone calls and getting messages and making connection with each other. And I'm very grateful to all of you who are part of that, both the official network of phone calls and unofficial calls that are going on between friends in the life of the congregation. Kath Brown has done a great job on this, and I'm very appreciative to her. And she tells me that she could use 2 or 3 more people who would take a list of people to call once or twice a week. So if you're able to do that and interested in doing it, please either give Kath a call if you have her number, or you can email her. And like everybody else at St. Mark's, her email address is her first initial, her last name, and at stmarksumc.com. So for Kath Brown, it's cbrown at stmarksumc.com. cbrown at stmarksumc.com. All right, besides being the Fool's Day yesterday was the Census Day. And I hope that everyone has had opportunity either to fill out their form online or on paper and send that in. Census is really, really important. I and many others approach this census this year with a great deal of apprehension, because this is the first time that it's being done primarily online. And I'm really troubled that that will mean that a lot of people find it hard to complete their census form. People who either don't have computer skills or don't have access to a computer. Many low-income people only have a cell phone, and if you try to get on the census form on a cell phone, my guess is that it's very difficult to negotiate it. So I'm concerned that as the census gets taken in 2020, that there may be a serious undercounting of poor and marginalized people. So we all need to do all that we can to make sure that everybody gets counted, because on the basis of those numbers, congressional districts are allocated, and also funding is allocated for low-income communities and programs. So we need to make sure that we do a good job with the census. I hope you're checking out the various messages that are coming to you from the church. I'm very grateful to Dr. Neil Kohatsu and Dr. Gib Parsons, who both gave us some food for thought in their medical responses to the situation. I continue to be grateful to Tony Eaton and to Robert Rausch for their contributions. I'm always looking for other people who might have something to share. So maybe it's a skill, maybe it's a recipe, maybe it's a plan for how to spend the day. Let me know, and I can put that out and we can share it in the congregation. So this coming weekend we see the celebration of Palm Sunday as Holy Week begins. I'm going to miss being in the sanctuary with those giant palm fronds that we typically get from the county to decorate the sanctuary. And I'm going to miss waving palm frond in the air as we sing the traditional hymns of Palm Sunday. But this is a reminder to me that Holy Week is beginning, and the mood for Holy Week is heavy, and it's an agonizing sadness as we remember the terrible tragedy, the appalling wrong of Jesus being arrested and then tortured and then being put to death. But that mood, that heavy mood, that agonizing mood, really fits a lot of our mood at the moment as we hear the news, especially from other parts of the country and other parts of the world, of so many deaths and so much suffering. We're hearing statistics, but behind every individual case, behind every individual death, is a whole story, an agonizing story of suffering and grief. And it's hard to hear it all because we can't take it all on. As I keep saying, for us here in Sacramento, we are expecting the news to get worse before it gets better. And I think it's really important that we prepare ourselves for that. This virus is deadly, and it's apparently communicated very easily. That means that you and I are making a significant difference, not only protecting ourselves from the virus, but by limiting our outside contacts, we are protecting other people. It seems strangely contradictory, but that by doing nothing and staying home, we are saving people's lives. It feels counterintuitive that we're doing a great good by doing something that feels like doing nothing. But in our inactivity, we can pray, and I invite you to do that. Keep in mind all those who are impacted by this terrible disease, those who have really struggled with the symptoms, those who have lost loved ones, those who are the caregivers and the frontline workers, the grocery store workers, the people producing our food. There are so many of them. Please keep them all in prayer. And also keep in prayer those who are grieving at this time and those who are finding it difficult to grieve because they are restricted in what they can do. Pray for those who are losing jobs, losing homes, losing livelihoods. If we can do nothing else, we can all pray for those who are struggling, and we can explore other options for them and advocate for them as we stay hunkered down in our homes. News came this morning of the death of our dear sister Betty Twinkie. The family has decided just to have a small graveside ceremony to honor her as she is buried. If you would like to send a card or note to the Schwenke family, it can go to her daughter Karen, and the address for them is P.O. Box 519, Folsom, California 95763. So that's Post Office Box, P.O. Box 519, Folsom 95763. On Tuesday morning, as I was praying over the phone with Betty and her family, I read the version of the 23rd Psalm from the Common English Bible. We all have the King James Version sort of planted in our brains, but as I heard this new, fresh translation, I found it gave me, I was impacted by it in a different way. The slightly different language is refreshing. So I'm going to read it. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He lets me rest in grassy meadows. He leads me to restful waters. He keeps me alive. He guides me in proper paths for the sake of his good name. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they protect me. You set a table for me right in front of my enemies. You bathe my head in oil. My cup is so full it spills over. Yes, goodness and faithful love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the Lord's house as long as I live. Amen. May God be with us all on this journey today and every day. God bless you. Amen.